Most people think that life as an athlete is all about training hard, recovering fast, and eating like a king. But in reality, it's a little bit different. I'm chasing my goal of competing in the Commonwealth Games, and I'm currently working towards competing at the World Champs in Olympic weightlifting. I'm not a full-time professional athlete. I'm not even a student athlete. I work full-time as a firefighter, and I have the responsibilities of everyone else in their day-to-day life. So for me, trying to find balance is the #1 thing that I aim towards. In this video, we're going to have a look at my strategies, try and maintain balance in my life whilst pushing to be a semi-professional athlete? Whilst pushing to be a competitive international athlete in the sport of Olympic weightlifting. First things first, you've got to establish your goals. This doesn't just mean as an athlete establishing your goals, this means what you want to achieve out of your life and what you want to do in your day-to-day life that makes you happy. So these are my goals that I want to try and get out of my life. So notice on this list, there are things on there that are like competing in the Commonwealth Games that are really big, ambitious goals that I'll have to spend a lot of time working towards and take a lot of day-to-day dedication. But then I also have things on there like walking the dogs. To me, that's really important. I chose to have the dogs, so that means that I want to prioritize them and give them the time that they want, doing the things that they enjoy as well. I've also got other things like try and break 100 in golf. Little things, it's a hobby that I enjoy doing on the side that I want to spend a bit of time doing, but it may get pushed a little bit further down the priority list, but it's still a goal that's on the list. Some of these goals may seem silly to some people, but to me, they achieve the overarching goal in my life, which is to make sure that I'm happy. To me, that is always the #1 goal, is to make sure that I'm happy in life and I'm doing the things that I enjoy. So once you know your goals, we've then got to prioritize. For me, prioritization is very important. In the past 4 years, I spent 3 of those years working towards the goal of becoming a firefighter and getting married. And I achieved both of those goals, but it did have a little bit of sacrifice towards my training. But for me, that was important because I did the things that made me happy. I got the job that I wanted and I married the woman that I love. But now there's a shift. So I'm aiming towards the Commonwealth Games. That's my big overarching goal now. So a few things have to take some sacrifice, but I'm still gonna make sure that I'm pushing towards that overarching goal of being happy. So how do I prioritize things? I try and make sure that I break each goal down and give it the time that it needs throughout the week. I'm very fortunate in being a firefighter. It means that I do have more time off than the average person based off of my shift patterns. So I can spend a bit more time doing the training, doing the extra things in the day, but it can still be a squeeze to try and fit everything in. And because of that, it means things might have to be sacrificed every now and then. I try and sacrifice as little as possible and make as few compromises as possible. So for me, my day-to-day things is I try and train for 2 hours a day. Unless it's a rest day, then I'll be doing some recovery stuff. Then I need to spend at least an hour walking the dogs every day. I will try and fit in some time with my wife every day. Around those 3 priorities, I'll then squeeze in the other things. So spending a bit of time making YouTube videos, doing some PT, and then if I can, and if I'm lucky, I'll squeeze some golf in there somewhere along the way so that I can try and break 100 at some point. When we're trying to prioritize, it's about making conscious decisions about what you want to spend time on and what things you can sacrifice a little bit of time on to make sure that you achieve your overarching goals. So once you prioritize, we've then got to manage. So manage for me doesn't just mean time management, it also means managing my expectations. My overarching goal is to be happy. If I'm pushing something a little bit too hard and it's taken away from my happiness, then I have to manage my expectations in that area and rein things back a little bit. So for me, my #1 at the moment, my non-negotiable is training. I'm trying to get my 2 hours of training in every day because that is my main goal below being happy. Okay, so I'm trying to push training a bit. If that means that the dog walk goes from an hour to 45 minutes, and it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, I'll still spend time with the dogs. They might get a slightly shorter walk in the day. And I'm sure they can deal with that every now and then. I also try to manage my expectations because no matter how hard you try and do something, there's always a chance that you might fail. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't know if you can do something until you try it. And I'm trying my best to go to the Commonwealth Games. If I make it, I'll be over the moon. If I don't, that's fine. I've pushed, I've tried, I've done everything that I can. I know I've done everything I can because I've prioritized, I've made the list, I've put everything in order, I've tried to give myself the best opportunity to achieve that goal. Once we've finished managing our time and managing our expectations, we need to reassess. Life changes constantly. What works one week might not work the next, or the next month, or the next year. So we need to reassess what our goals are and make sure that we're keeping them up to date and making sure our life aligns with those goals. So like I said, I was focusing on becoming a firefighter and getting married, but since achieving those goals, I've reassessed and I've put other things in front of those goals because I've already achieved those goals. I've reassessed, changed those goals, and now I'm pushing towards something else. But reassessing isn't just about once you've completed those goals. If you find that in your day-to-day life you become unhappy, or you find that you're just in a rut, hitting your head against the wall and not getting the outcomes that you want, that's the time to look over things and go, do I actually want this? Is this something that's going to make me happy in the long run, or is it just something that's eating away at my happiness and making me a bit miserable? At that point, we can reassess, readjust what those goals are, and maybe push towards that in a later date when you are in a better space. It's a better time to do things. It's very important to realise that you can't necessarily do everything all at once, but you will get the outcome that you're aiming for. Whereas if you just keep hitting your head against the wall, trying to do everything all at once, then chances are you just won't achieve any of your objectives that you set out to try and achieve. Finding that balance definitely isn't easy, and it's something that I'm still working on and that I constantly try and reassess and readjust to. Don't worry if you don't get it on the first try. You can always reassess, go again. If you found this video helpful or you liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.